What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we are back with episode 4 of Top Takes with Tayde, and in this video we are going to do some predictions for who I think is going to win the NFL awards this season, like MVP, Rookie of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year, all that. And we're also going to be doing some Super Bowl predictions as well, who I think is going to win Super Bowl MVP, all that. So let's get into it, starting with our MVP. All right, so the finalists for this year's MVP award, we got Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, CMC, Dak Prescott, and Brock Purdy. The MVP race was pretty weak this year, which opened it up for a non-quarterback to win it. But ultimately, this is a pretty quarterback-biased award, and even the non-quarterback players that could have won it didn't do very well this year. I mean, they didn't do enough to win it. A lot of injuries this year, but I think this is going to come down to Lamar Jackson or Dak Prescott, but ultimately Lamar Jackson led the Ravens to the #1 seed in the AFC. Ultimately, though, I think it is going to be Lamar Jackson who comes away with the MVP award. He had a great year this year. He was arguably the best player on the NFL's best team, and Ravens finished with the #1 seed in the AFC. Obviously, he didn't have as good of a season as that 2019 MVP season, but still he had a lot better completion rate, more passing yards, had a lot of passing touchdowns this year as well, extremely accurate, and yeah, great season this year for Lamar Jackson, and I think it's a well-deserved MVP award for him this year. All right, now moving on to our Offensive Player of the Year. The finalists for this year: Tyreek Hill, Lamar Jackson, CeeDee Lamb, Christian McCaffrey, Dak Prescott. I think CeeDee Lamb, he had a good push at the end of the season. I don't know if it was enough to get him Offensive Player of the Year, though. Obviously, Dak Prescott, amazing year as well. Lamar Jackson is an MVP winner. So I think this one's going to come down to CMC or Tyreek Hill. Christian McCaffrey had almost 2,000 scrimmage yards, I believe 1,400 rushing yards, and 14 touchdowns on the season as well. So I'm ultimately going to have to give the Offensive Player of the Year to Christian McCaffrey this year. He's probably the best offensive player on this Niners team that had one of the best offenses in the league this year as well. So, yeah, with the numbers he put up, just the fact he also is able to stay healthy all year. When he's healthy, he could be one of the best offensive players in the league, and he showed that. And he also, went on a streak at the beginning of the year. I think he, set the record for most consecutive games with a touchdown as a Niner or something like that. So yeah, he's absolute beast, and I think he'll be the Offensive Player of the Year this year. All right, now moving on to one of the harder picks for out of these awards, Defensive Player of the Year this year. It's a pretty tight race. There's a lot of good candidates this year. Deron Bland, he had that streak of pick sixes. I think that's why he's on this list, but I don't think he's going to be the Defensive Player of the Year this year. Max Crosby, he had a really good year. One of the few bright spots on a Raiders team that was not that great this year. And then Micah Parsons, he's absolute beast. But I think this award is going to come down to Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, two absolute insane defensive ends. Most people, I think, are taking Myles Garrett here. He is the favorite for Defensive Player of the Year. But when you really compare these guys' stats, TJ Watt is better in most of these categories. 48 tackles to 33 tackles, 20 assists and 9. But look, 5 more sacks than Myles Garrett did, 5 more passes defended, also 1 more interception, 2 fumbles recovered more, and he also has a touchdown this year. So I think most people are choosing Myles Garrett because he's the best defensive player on the best defense in the league this year, the Browns. But TJ Watt had a much better year, and I think it's going to be TJ Watt that gets his 3rd Defensive Player of the Year award this year. All right, now we're going to move on to the Rookie Awards. Offensive Rookie of the Year, I think this is a pretty easy choice. It obviously goes down to Puka Nacua or CJ Stroud. Y'all already know who I'm picking. Number 7, CJ Stroud. I mean, this guy went absolutely nuts this year. Had one of the best seasons by a quarterback rookie ever. I think CJ Stroud's performance kind of put down what Puka Nacua did, but Puka Nacua also had an amazing year this year as well. Probably the best rookie season by a wide receiver we've ever seen. But CJ Stroud had the best quarterback season by a rookie we've ever seen, which is why I think he Offensive Rookie of the Year this year. He also led the Texans to a playoff berth and a division title. So, yeah, his stats were through the roof. Obviously, he also had that 470-yard passing game against the Tampa Bay Bucks. Set the record for most passing yards by a rookie as well. He was setting records all season long, and hopefully he continued to do so in the future. But this season, he's got one award under his belt, and that is Offensive Rookie of the Year. All right, so next up we got Defensive Rookie of the Year award. This one was a pretty close race. I don't think there was really a defensive rookie that stood out a lot this season. But a lot of people got Jalen Carter in this, but I'm not just because of Texans bias, but also because of how good of a season he had. I'm taking Will Anderson here. He had an absolutely great year. He also got a Pro Bowl selection for the Texans this year as well. And Will Anderson, he only had 7 sacks. Jalen Carter had 6, but I think it wasn't just the sacks, but also Will Anderson had one of the highest pressure win rates in the NFL. That is among like all defensive players, not just rookies. Jalen Carter, though, also had an outstanding season, but I am going to take Will Anderson here as my Defensive Rookie of the Year. Okay, so with Comeback Player of the Year award, I think this one is all but sealed for Damar Hamlin. Even though he only played a couple of snaps, 2 tackles in total the whole season, it's pretty much cemented that he's going to win it this year. But I think a lot of these other guys, if what happened to Damar Hamlin did not happen to him, they would have won this award. But obviously, shout out to Damar Hamlin, shout out to that medical staff that saved his life, and thank God that he's still here with us. But yeah, I mean, Joe Flacco came out of retirement. That dude's like 50 years old, came back, led the Browns to a playoff berth. Lost to the Texans, though. Yikes. And then Baker Mayfield revived his career with the Tampa Bay Bucks. But like many others, shout out to Damar Hamlin. He's going to be my Comeback Player of the Year this year. We got the Assistant Coach of the Year award. I actually didn't know this was an award, but look, turns out it is. We got Ben Johnson, Lions Offensive Coordinator, Mike Macdonald, which is the Ravens DC, Todd Monken, Ravens Offensive Coordinator, Jim Schwartz, Cleveland DC, and then Bobby Slowick, Houston Texans OC. So most of these are just like units that did really good this year, like the Ravens defense and the Cleveland defense. Both of those coordinators are here because they had 2 of the best defenses in the league this year. Bobby Slowick's probably on there because of the C.J. Stroud success. And then Ravens offense, Lamar Jackson, great year. And then Mike Macdonald's on there because of the Ravens offensive success. And Lamar Jackson most likely is going to win MVP this year. And then you got Ben Johnson, the Lions OC as well. He obviously has been one of the key pieces in turning this Lions offense and this Lions team around. But overall, because of the Detroit Lions' success and the Lions' insane offense with Jared Goff at quarterback, nothing against Jared Goff. Jared Goff's a good quarterback, but what Ben Johnson has been able to turn him into and turn this Lions offense into, I'm going to give it to Ben Johnson, Detroit Lions offensive coordinator, as the Assistant Coach of the Year. All right, last but not least, we got Coach of the Year. This is probably the closest race as for who's going to win this award this year. I mean, Dan Campbell, you got John Harbaugh, DeMeco Ryans, Kyle Shanahan, Kevin Stefanski. All of these guys, you can make a great case as for why they could win the award this year. And really depends how you view the Coach of the Year award. Like, some people view it as like which coach led the most unexpected team this year. That could be like the Lions or the Texans, because like Texans, no one expected them to be good this year. Then DeMeco Ryans led them to a playoff berth. Detroit Lions, I don't think many people expected them to make an NFC Championship game, but Dan Campbell led them there. I'm also surprised that Shane Steichen's not on here, the Colts head coach, because the Colts had a great year this year. A lot of people definitely did not expect them to almost make the playoffs, especially with Anthony Richardson getting injured in the first 4 weeks of the season. But Shane Steichen rallied the troops, got Gardner Minshew going, and he even got a Pro Bowl spot. Surprised that he's not on here, shot at him. And you could also view this award as like which coach led their team to the best record or just the best overall team. You can make a case for that definition for like John Harbaugh or Kyle Shanahan because of how good both of their teams did, both number 1 seeds. And then Kevin Stefanski, I feel like he always, no matter what, he brings his team through injuries, through adversity to always end up doing good, even with the injuries. I mean, Deshaun Watson out for the season. Nick Chubb got injured in week 1. So you could really make a case for any of those guys as well. But ultimately, I think this award is going to be based on how unexpected a team performed and which coach led that to happen. I think that's how it's really awarded nowadays. So for that reason, I'm going to take DeMeco Ryans as the Houston Texans as my Coach of the Year winner. All right, y'all, it's the moment you've all been waiting for, Super Bowl predictions. This is a rematch of the 2020 Super Bowl. I don't even know which one it is. The Chiefs versus the San Francisco 49ers. Obviously, I think both teams have improved. The Chiefs have more Super Bowl experience now, more playoff experience now. Niners have a better quarterback in Brock Purdy now. A lot of people call him a system quarterback. Personally, I don't really agree with that. I mean, I don't know how many times he has to prove that he's a good quarterback. I mean, you need a great quarterback in order to win playoff games and do good and win and come from behind games, just like the Niners did in the NFC Championship game. And you can't win Super Bowls with a bad or an average quarterback. You need a great quarterback. And Brock Purdy has proved himself and proved that he is a great quarterback. But overall, this is a pretty good matchup. I think the Niners, honestly, they haven't been doing that good this playoffs. They barely made it out divisional round against the Packers. They needed the Packers to miss their field goal in order to move on. I feel like if that game went to overtime, who knows what could have happened. And then in the NFC Championship game, they were down 24-7, and they were able to barely come from behind and win it against the Lions. And their defense showed up in that second half. Brock Purdy learned from his mistakes in the first half and improved. But I feel like if they go down in a hole like that, 24-7 or even less, like even down like a 10, 13-point hole in the first half, then that game is pretty much wraps. I don't think the Niners, nothing against Brock Purdy, but I don't think he can lead them to come back, especially against the Chiefs. They could do it against the Lions. I mean, Lions didn't have too much playoff experience, so they were able to pull it together. But the Chiefs are a whole different monster, especially in the playoffs. The Chiefs are absolutely insane. Playoff Patrick Mahomes is crazy. He'll drop 300 yards plus on you every playoff game. He goes absolutely nuts. Another situation I think that the Niners are not going to be able to win if it's like a 30-30 game, one of those high-scoring games. If Chiefs are dropping 30 points, I think there's no way that the Niners are winning that game. Again, nothing against Brock Purdy, but if Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs offense is clicking that well that they're putting up 30 points in a game, I don't think you can come back from that. That's when Patrick Mahomes starts throwing those like no-look passes and like sidearms and does those 20-yard runs for a first down. That's when Patrick Mahomes becomes unstoppable in those kind of close, high-scoring games. And even when it's a low-scoring, close game, he gets just enough done to get the win. I feel like the only way the Niners can win this game is if they come out hot, they start really good in the game, because that's what happened last week. The Ravens weren't able to get a good enough start. Chiefs finished them off. So if the Niners could come out first quarter, get like a 14-0 lead or something like that, they can keep building on that and maybe finish it off. But if they're not able to do that, I don't know if they're going to be able to win this game. The Chiefs are just too good and on fire right now in the playoffs. So I'm taking the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, winning it against the Niners. And this is the score. It's going to be not too high scoring. I think it's going to be 24-17. And on the last drive, it's going to be 17-17. Chiefs are taking it downfield. 2 minutes left. Patrick Mahomes. You're not going to believe who gets the final score of the touchdown. It's going to be Kadarius Toney. He's going to be like, boom. He's going to grab it, and then he's going to drop it, juggle it, catch it for the touchdown. And, yeah, that's my prediction. Chiefs 24. Niners 17. Chiefs are your Super Bowl champions. Kadarius Toney gets the game-winning touchdown. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, hit the notification bell, and make sure to share this video with all your friends. I'll see you after the Super Bowl. Thanks for watching. Peace.